Hi, I'm Tim Brediger of the Northeast Ohio Media Group, and I'm joined in studio today by the North Olmsted Eagles. To my left, I've got head coach Tim Brediger, Jake Jones, and Ben Kurcsak in the studio with me. Coach, we'll start with you. You're in your second year in North Olmsted. First year, very good, 7-3. I mean, granted, you missed out on the playoffs, but still winning 7 games is not a bad first year. What do you think you need to do to take that next step and to make yourselves playoff contenders?
Biggest thing is we got to take care of business late in games. We had 2 games last year, obviously Westlake and Avon Lake, where we were in position to win, and things didn't work out for whatever reason it was. So part of our emphasis has been on finishing and playing a whole 4-quarter game. And I think the kids have bought into that, and they've done a great job all off season.
Now, Coach, you obviously got a very talented running back in Ben Kurcsak, who is one of the stars of the SWC last year. What kind of impact do you expect him to have coming into this season?
Well, I know Ben, and he'll probably speak on this later, has worked his tail off this offseason. He's a big weight room guy. The kids look up to him when he's in there. He's a track guy this year, which has improved his speed and his explosion. And this summer we've tried to find ways to, you can't hide him on a football field, but to put him in different spots where he can be successful, whether it's in the backfield or out as a slot, and we can motion him around to try to hide him so defenses can't key on him as much.
Jake, you're in your second year working with Coach Brediger. How different is it, coming into practice and whatever, knowing that you already know your coach, you know what it's like going through camp, know the system? How much more comfortable is that?
It's a lot more comfortable. It makes everything a little bit easier and helps you lead the young guys behind you.
Ben, I kind of touched on this earlier with the coach. You guys just fell just short of the playoffs last year. How much of that has been a bit of a motivating factor? Know that you were just right there last year. You got a taste of, late games that meant a lot. How much has that really motivated you guys this summer?
I think it motivates us a lot to work harder, just to know that we have to finish if we want to be in the playoffs, because if we don't finish in the playoffs, then we just don't move on. So we got to move on and complete the game, 4 quarters, not just 2 or 3, all 4.
Coach, you do have to have a little bit of a replacement. Bradley Novak, 3-year starter quarterback, is gone. Who do you think is the guy who's going to replace him, and what will you have to do to try and be the effective quarterback that you're hoping to have?
Well, yeah, we were fortunate with Brad, as well as 4 or 5 of those other seniors that were 3-year starters last year. But we have 4 quarterbacks that have worked since we've been allowed to in June, getting equal reps, and as the summer's gone, it's kind of narrowed down to 2 of them. Matt Starkovic or Christian Ammons, who are 2 kids. One's going to be a senior, one's going to be a junior. Both really good athletes, different types of kids than Brad as far as their feet. But part of our job as a staff is to mold the offense around those types of kids. So you're going to see a little bit different offense out of us this year than you have maybe the last couple of years with Brad. But I think it also allows us to highlight some of the skills in our backfield and with our wideouts. Versus just having a quarterback that kind of carries the ball 20 times a game. We're not going to have that, but we can use some other weapons. So.
All right, Jake. Now I know there's the old cliche, 1 game at a time. You focus on 1 game, doesn't particularly matter. But as a player, is there any one team that's scheduled that really kind of stands out to you as a game that you really like to, a team you would really like to play against?
Yeah, Avon Lake, just because it's been 20+ years since we beat them. So whenever that win comes, will be a special one.
And Ben, we talked about Avon Lake and Brecksville. They've been the 2 top teams in the SWC. I'll get you guys out of here on this. What do you think you guys need to do to be able to challenge those teams and really contend for a conference championship this season?
Like we said before, we got to finish. We can't just be relaxed against them. We got to play our hearts out, not just those 2 games, but every game during the season. We got to finish.
All right, there you have it, the North Olmsted Eagles. I want to thank Ben, Jake, and Coach Brediger for joining us here. And remember to stay tuned to cleveland.com all season for all of your high school football coverage.